That's the point that Democrats make often. They're like, we're not attacking the industry. I mean, oil production has gone up under the Biden administration. So how do you counter that, or agree with that, or what do you say to that?
Well, what I'd say is that it has a lot to do with the fact that everything that the Biden administration has done has been to try to restrict oil and gas development on lands that they control. So leases were down 97% on federal lands. We only had one lease sale in the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America, during the Biden administration. And that's only because it was mandated by the Inflation Reduction Act. So everywhere that they could control development, Alaska's another place where they took hundreds of thousands of acres offline from oil and gas development. Everywhere they could restrict development, they did.
You know, a lot of these EPA rules, DOE restrictions, all of that, it doesn't necessarily have the immediate term effect. It has a medium to long term effect because, right, you're discouraging investments. You know, and when we talk about investments in the oil and gas industry, you're talking about 10, 20-year investments. And so you're not going to feel the pain of that until way later. So they can sort of clean their hands of it and say, oh, see, we didn't do anything. We didn't do anything. But the truth of the matter is these rules and regulations that they've been putting through the process for years since they started, they really only just went into effect like this year.
Well, I actually have a term for it. It's called the energy policy lag, that it takes 4 or 5 years for these policies to catch up with production.
Yeah, and then they're going to blame Trump.
Then they'll blame Trump,
Yeah.
if there's a decrease from production as a consequence of the decisions that they've made. But in the Gulf of Mexico alone, you think about the fact that there's a lease. The Gulf of America. The Gulf of America alone, there is a...
They're freedom fries. It's the Gulf of America. Get it right.
And why can't we rename it? I'm all for it.
It's not the Rio Grande, it's the Rio Grande.
In the Gulf of America alone, there is a lease that we are currently operating on that was leased under the Reagan administration. So your point about long-term investment is real.